Om Asato ma sadgamaya Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya Mrityormamritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Lead us from untruth to truth, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. Every Nepali holds a spiritual citizenship. 8 Justifications. Sastrartha Sanat by Sanat Neupane, Shishya of Dr. Pramod Takal. Guided and edited by Dr. Pramod Takal. To my Guru. Every word of this creation is dedicated to my respected Guru Dr. Pramod Takal, the kindler of my spiritual awakening. I have a say. I am a global citizen. Political boundaries for me are mere formalities. The world is my home, and the universe is my neighborhood. I have immense respect and recognition for each and every communities of the world. I fully recognize that each of them has unique characteristics and immense power. The best thing that happened to me till now is my birth in Nepal. I am very proud of our ancestors and the admirable legacy they have passed on to us. My biggest asset is the sanskar I inherited from them and learned from them, which is to be perfected by me and for me. This sanskar designs my unique art of living and gives me the freedom and confidence to grow the growth I want. Nepal. Nepal is a blessed place, blessed by the coordinates of longitude latitude, blessed by the highest mountains, blessed by the traditions that lightens the spirit of everyone who lives here. Like how every place has a benefit, as Nepali, you are always connected to the infinite spiritual wealth. Whatever religion, caste, class, and community you're from, you are a born sponsor or practitioner of scholarship. Like how a barley seed can only grow a barley sapling, Nepal, a spiritually formed place, both geographically and culturally, can only give births and abodes to spiritual citizens. Each Nepali is a spiritually designed masterpiece for a purpose. Sooner you realize, sooner you act, sooner you accept, sooner you achieve the spiritual self. The sovereignty of height, creativity, and life. Nepal is always more of a mineral rock of humanity than what you generally know. The mysteries, traditions, people, beliefs, nature, and cultures are never ending libraries of knowledge and wisdom. Knowing Nepal is less than basic without knowing in detail the Himalayas, water, and people. The Himalayas are more than naturally beautiful places. Inside this beauty is a profound message. The Mount Everest is not only a geographical height, it is also a height of civilization and spirits. Everyone wants to go higher, and we already have this height. We need to own this height given to all of us, our ancestral property. Realize this height and the responsibility that comes along with this height. With this height comes the power of gravity, the supreme endowment of Nepal. With the height of your gravity defying mountains, you hold energy and water, which are the essential force of sustaining life and creating civilizations. This power has been given to each Nepalese. With this gravitational power, we can move anything from Nepal to the deepest ocean like an automatic complex cascading conveyor. Nepalese have been given the responsibility of creating an ideal civilization that is intellectually powerful, spiritually fortified, and creatively path-setting. Symbol of creativity, summoning the oceans at 8,850 meters. Nepal has the power to turn the white clouds that travel from the far oceans to the Himalayan peaks to white snow and ice, even at 8,850 meters. What message and inspiration is included in this activity? Nepal has mountains that hold water and give needed water through tributaries the whole year. What does it tell for life? What does it tell about survival? What is essential for life, and Himalayas best know how to reserve water and supply correctly in an ever replenishing fashion. Mind you, the Mount Everest is not only the tallest peak of the world, but is also the tallest water storage reservoir of the world, and thus a symbol of extreme creativity and life. People, liberated and happy. GDP performances would be an insulting method to evaluate Nepal. Nepalese are ever happy people, irrespective of materialistic performances. Rich or poor, Nepalese are bright. If you ever notice Nepalese walking on streets, you will find them at ease with themselves. Immediate satisfaction, dissatisfaction, complaint, praise, rise, fall can't make them unhappy for long. All Nepalese are strong from within, courageous yet kind and emotional, and always standing for their Iman Jaman, which means integrity and keeping the commitments. The soil of Nepal has spiritual fertilizers, and that is how the happiness blossoms in every Nepali. Spiritualism. Spiritualism in this context is a conscious path, not necessarily a religious one, of establishing our connection with the cosmic universe and the Atmic universe that resides within each one of us. Spiritual citizenship. Spiritual citizenship is a universal citizenship given to individuals who realize a bigger responsibility of connecting themselves with the welfare of human and other creations of nature, and that with the bigger universe. This citizenship is an evidence of being the caretakers of a glorious spiritual legacy and undertaking of a spiritual journey of our own liberation. This citizenship is active only if the person is consciously connected to the parts and whole of the universe. This citizenship is about our deep engagement with a cause that is bigger than our life. 8 justifications. Every Nepali holds a spiritual citizenship. Number 1, the Himalayas. Call it the snow cap, the third pole, or just the beautiful mountains. Himalayas are the strongest identity of Nepal. House of Lord Shiva, the god of innovations. Himalayas hold an immense amount of invisible energy through their strength of height and mass, providing shelters with endowment for life. They teach us how the world of creativity ought to work by unfolding the creativity of their own before our eyes. The skills of life, the power of holding, the expression of timeless but ever changing beauty, and the inspiration of standing tall and straight. That is the power of our great teacher. Civilizations have always prospered around mountains, be it here in the Himalayas or as far as in the Andes, South America. Mountains have been the symbol of prosperous life, and Himalayas are the mountains of the mountains. Life is impossible without water. The Himalayas hold that water for you, or you are that water. Not only that, Himalayas distribute the water evenly throughout the year. They make it possible for you navigate to reach your neighborhoods through some tributary. The abundance of water they provide to you is your confidence of life. The beautiful mountains you see are the symbols of eternal motherhood. They always lift your spirits, making Nepal a magnet of good energy and spiritualism. Rishis, researchers, astrologers, scholars, kings, and people from all aspects of life from all around the world have been coming to our Himalayas since ages in the quest of owning their scholarship and for spiritual liberation. The great Himalayas connect you to the sky, lifting your spirits higher and higher, closer to the Himalayas, closer to life, closer to spirits, closer to the gods. The Himalayas are the symbol of spiritualism. Number two, gigantic natural endowments. 8 of the world's 14 highest mountains live in Nepal, in harmony with the sky and proudly establishing a third pole here. Thousands of tributaries from Himalayas, Mahabharata, and Churiya densely weave through Nepal aquatically. And the spines of Saptakosi, Saptagandaki, and Saptakarnali give Nepal more water flow per unit area than the Amazon, Nile, or Congo River watersheds. They are the axis of Asian civilization and thus the axios of Asia. Nepal is home to 360 plus species of orchids alone, 8% of the total species of birds found in the world, 5,000 plus species of flower plants, and 650 plus species of butterflies. These are just some indications of natural endowments of Nepal. Nepal is blessed with diversities. These diversities can be observed through the distinct 6 seasons that unfold here: Basanta, flowering; Grishma, heating; Barsha, raining; Sarad, shining; Hemanta, cooling; and Sisir, gusting. The 6 seasons, unlike any four elsewhere, keep reminding various avatars of nature and connecting the pleasure and struggles straight to lives. The diversity of seasons embody the diversity of insects, animals, flora, fauna, and colors of life, creating a perfect stage for understanding the paradigm of nature in just the right doses. With colors, music of the water and wind, the naughtiness of the rivers, even gods envy Nepal, and not a demi paradise, but a real paradise in the purity of which our spiritual strength gets more profound. But we need to realize that without converting them to an ever sustaining, ever replenishing, ever prospering karma, these endowments become no more than undermined hidden treasures. Nature is spiritualism. Number three, worshipping both the invisible and the visible. In Nepal, we worship Panchatattvas, the basic components of life and the universe: Bhumi, the earth; Agni, the fire; Jal, the water; Vayu, the air; and Akas, the space or void. We worship ancestors, ancient sages, and scholars, relatives and close friends who have passed away. We worship our kul, our bigger families. We worship guests, saying guests are gods. Atithi Devo Bhava. We even worship ghosts, atmas, kaks, pranvayus, and imaginary magical creations. Everything directly, indirectly essential and important to us, and that helped us to become who we are as beings, is worshipped. We also worship ourselves in Ma Puja, ears at Kan Devata and teeth at Vaishyadev or the toothache tree. Our humbleness of worshipping ourselves is our realization that our spirit is above us and we will do everything to get near to it. We worship creativity, Maheshwar, Knowledge, Brahma. Operations, Vishnu. Power, Vairav. Peace, Buddha. Sex, Kamadev. And we worship countless values. But these are not the only ones worshipped. Rivers, mountains, people, bar, kush, tulasi, rudraksha, crow, dogs, cows, bulls, horses, kumari, rain, harvest, sun, moon, constellations, food, annapurna, nagdevata, snake, tools and machineries, vishwakarma, books, Saraswati, money, Lakshmi, weapons and ammunitions, Durga, wax, gourd, coconut, more than 108 flowers, herbs and teas, wheatgrass, jamara in Dasai, Bermuda grass, dubu, mud, and even cow dung in many occasions. These are just some examples. There are many in 60 plus subcultures of Nepal, conversing in 120 plus languages. From living to non living, from statue to plants, from animals to imaginary beings, from earth dwellers to aliens, from values to feelings and emotions, from natural to supernatural, we worship everything visible and invisible. Why? Because we have learned that if we worship an orange tree by taking good care of it, it will give us plenty of oranges. So our worship is not just asking for a favor. It is a mutually rewarding proposition done on an equal footing with mutual respect. It is a comprehensively mutual and symbiotic approach than just an expect and get relationship. Because we recognize the integrated super ecosystem of the universe, we see things holistically and we know the visible and invisible elements of our existence. This is because we know the spirits. We have been practicing spiritualism. We know the spirits exist even in the non existent. Worship is a way of giving respect. We respect everything and recognize the spirits inside them. We celebrate and rejoice the omnipresence of God in myriads of forms, from the subatomic to the entirety of the universe. Valuing of the visible and the invisible is the path of spiritualism. Number 4. Value given to scholars and scholarship. Why do we always read that someone who, in serious doubt and had unsolved problems on unanswered questions, went to the Himalayas and came back happily accomplished? Siddhartha Gautam, the Gautam Buddha, Valmiki, the author of Ramayana, Vedavyas, the organizer of Vedas and author of Mahabharata, Patanjali, the father of yoga, Padini, the father of formal grammar, Jamini, the father of astrology and philosophy of Mimasa, the philosophy of formal inquiry, and many rishis and scholars are thought to have developed much of their scholarly works here. Nepal has always been a destination for the scholars from all directions of the Himalayas to home their scholarship. Why have scholars from India, China, Thailand, Sri Lanka, Indonesia, to even Mesopotamia preferred Nepal? They walked thousands of miles to reach Nepal because this is a Siddha Bhumi, a holy land, a land where accomplishments are guaranteed for the deserving. Number 4. Value given to scholars and scholarship. Why do we always read that someone who, in serious doubt and unsolved problems or unanswered questions, went to the Himalayas and came back happily accomplished? Siddhartha Gautam, the Gautam Buddha, Valmiki, the author of Ramayana, Vedavyas, the organizer of Vedas and author of Mahabharata, Patanjali, the father of yoga, Panini, the father of formal grammar, Jamini, the father of astrology and philosophy of Mimasa, the philosophy of formal inquiry, and many rishis and scholars are thought to have developed much of their scholarly works here. Nepal has always been a destination for the scholars from all directions from the Himalayas to the home their scholarship. Why have scholars from India, China, Thailand, Sri Lanka, Indonesia, to even Mesopotamia preferred Nepal? They walked thousands of miles to reach Nepal because this is a Siddha Bhumi, a holy land, a land where accomplishments are guaranteed for the deserving. They knew not only that we have the Himalayas, but also that the people here always valued scholars and scholarship. May a person be a king, a merchant, a warrior, or a simple householder. Everyone extended a huge welcome to the scholars with open arms. Scholars were never asked their address or backgrounds. A scholar's dress, reference, or code of conduct were good enough to receive a warm welcome to the community. Communities and families always took care of the scholars with pride. Food, accommodation, and a favorable environment was never a worry for any scholar in Nepal. Families used to compete for the patronage to the teachers. There used to be even a competition as to who would feed and accommodate the teacher. This is a very simple reflection of Nepal's honor to scholars and scholarship. Nepal was and always will be a laboratory to scholarship and thus a destination for the spiritual endeavors. Scholarship is the medium of spiritualism. Number 5. Happy people. With the grace of myriads of gods that present a complex natural system as simple and natural, and that of the great ancestors, Nepalese never had problem feeding themselves all the scholars who congregated here. Civilizations and cultures prosper when people worry not for survival but for liberation of the humankind. Abundance of food and a rich culture are usually good enough for basic happiness of humans. Perhaps that is the reason why Nepalese are kind and emotional people. Not only the family, a surprise guest was also a happily undertaken liability of a bona fide Nepali. Why are Nepalese happy? Nepalese have a happy culture symbolized by Atmanusasan, self discipline, self learning, social values, traditional momentum, and catalyzed by festivals and rituals. Happiness has been ritualized in Nepal. People are connected to self, nature, community, gods, and the universe, which establishes a solid self confidence and produces accomplishments. Confidence and accomplishment cultivates happiness. It will be very difficult to find a Nepali who harbors deep sadness for long. It is because the art of being happy is in our prodigy. Happiness is given for us. We are born to capture spiritual happiness. Internal happiness is the core of spiritualism. Number 6. The real independence. The independence of Nepal doesn't end at it being a non colonized country. The real independence is in the heart, minds, and lives of Nepalese. Nepal had rulers of different kinds. Some promoted freedom and some did not. But independent of that, Nepalese were always free from within. Nepal hasn't seen extreme slavery like many other parts of the world. People were free to believe in what they believe, free to choose what they wanted to do, and free to go where they wanted to go. Keeping aside a few commodities, Nepal still is not dependent on any country for including air, water, food, clothing, knowledge, or any basics of living. Each household of Nepal in the past could survive independently or in community cooperation. Whereas food, water, and shelter makes people an almost slave of job and owners or survival, a bona fide Nepali can still survive independently in Nepal with food grown in his own land, water from the sky and water reserves, and shelter, a small beautiful hut made by himself from mud, stones, and khar or any natural supplements. The real independence always makes people free to think, believe, travel, create, and not to succumb to limitations, and thus letting them get near to the content spiritual self. Independence is the dimension of spiritualism. Number 7. Openness to beliefs. How are people from Hinduism, Buddhism, Islam, Kirat, Christianity, Bon, Jainism, Baha, Sikhism, worshippers of nature, and many other traditions living so cordially in Nepal and in such undisturbed harmony? Why at all so many religions are even present in this country? How our various left and right political ideologies are in perfect balance? Why would a Hindu individual from majority religion heartily appreciate a Muslim and vice versa and accept that he or she will also reach the heaven through his or her own religion? Why was Hinduism or any other religion previously never marketed in Nepal? Why wasn't any Bad or ism negated? It was because we have always been open to beliefs. We respect opinions. We accept that different beliefs and point of views should exist in a good society. We rather promote heterogeneity. This is a complete confirmation of Nepali openness. And mind you, spiritualism never knocks a door. It only enters where there are no doors, and it doesn't have to knock. Nepal has no doors to beliefs. Nepal is thus a nursery of spiritualism. Openness is the depth of spiritualism. Number 8. Disciplined society. In Nepal, a day wouldn't generally start without bathing and cleaning the house. As Sankaracharya says, that a regular bath keeps body clean and these essential activities keep our mind cleaner, we were always ready for a clean mind and higher spirits. More than religion, Nepalese are guided by disciplines that are interwoven in the culture in the form of various rituals. This discipline is never imposed. It is built by the communities based on various contextual factors and needs of the time. For example, Swayampakki, cooking yourself, and social distancing, for giving time to yourself and avoiding contagiousness of disease and all, were tools of discipline exercised for a healthy body, and thus healthy mind, and thus a stronger connection to the spirit. They later were malpracticed for vested interests, but at the origin of these practices, they were part of a complex disciplinary system. Discipline wasn't only for your body, the discipline was to connect you to the nature and the universe. Days named after planets, and each day having scientific do's and don'ts. And again, the lifestyles shaped by the constellations were symbols of a higher level of discipline, and thus a reflection of a higher level of civilization. This discipline always preserved the spiritual tradition of Nepal. Discipline is the beginning of spiritualism. Activate your spiritual citizenship. As a Nepali, you have the spiritual citizenship because you are a part and continuation of a glorious spiritual legacy. But it is inactive at default mode. You need to activate it if you have not done it as yet. The activation codes are already enveloped in your DNAs. The following may help you discover the code inside you which will activate your spiritual citizenship. 1. Work minimum 2 hours a day. A lot of people dream for basi basi khane or enjoying life without work. Being a Nepali, you are not one of them. Irrespective of age, life stage, time factors, you are designed to work. A Nepali doesn't ever retire in life. Even at the last moment of life, his or her work is advising people and consulting communities. So work minimum 2 hours a day, but work on what you want or what you enjoy working internally. Let that 2 hours of work give you deep satisfaction, if not their words that you could show off or compare with. 2. Learn minimum 2 hours a day. Studying book is one of the thousand methods of learning. You can learn from nature, life, events, work, observation, and a lot from yourself. Study yourself. Learn from the universe and its components. But every day, minimum 2 hours a day. 3. Value each drop of water. Value each drop of water, each inch of mud, each breeze of air, each piece of stone, each glow of light, each form of energy. Start valuing all natural compounds and elements. Start from water. In each drop of water, see opportunities and life. Start conversations with water. The drop of water can also tell you your spiritual citizenship codes. 4. Recognize each life. You are responsible for and are the intelligent custodian of the trillions of life. Of the 8.7 plus billion species, you are responsible to everyone. Not only that, you are also responsible to the beings which live on other planets. Try adding value to them, liberate them, and respect them. Realize this responsibility and think about them every day. Start by recognizing each life. There is life in non living as well, but you have to bring it to life. A canvas is non living, but colors bring life in it and convert it into a beautiful painting. Stones get life as statues through skills. Plots and emotions bring life in words and create a story that lives longer than us humans. Try converting non living into living. Try giving life to everything around you. 5. Ask yourself every day, what value did you add to others today? As a Nepali, the drive for adding value is inherent in you. To keep that drive alight, keep asking yourself, what value did you add to this creation today? Answer could be any, a bold yes, a somewhat yes, or even a no. But this will keep navigating your spiritual life and keep mirroring you every day how small you are and at the same time how big you are. Go, locate your spiritual citizenship and activate it as soon as you can. And now about me, a typical Nepali, but a global citizen, Sanat Neupane, Shishya of Dr. Pramod Dhakal. Any feedbacks, send me at sanatneupane@gmail.com, SANATNEUPANE@gmail.com, or call me on +977 98510 29514. And stay tuned to Shastrartha Sanat. We will be discussing about Eastern philosophies, Veda, Upanishads, and Mahabharata. With the grace of my Guru, I will keep bringing to you the things that you have not heard before, or the things that you have not heard like this before. See you.